Happy Monday. Coming off a nice 4-0 sweep on Saturday, and we got a 12-game slate. Let's talk some baseball, baby. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and hope you guys had a great weekend. It is time to get back to the MLB grind, and boy, has it been fun lately for us. After a rough first half of the year, or at least most of the first half, since July 4th, we are now 41-26, up almost 15 units, and since the All-Star break, 20-10, up over 9 units. Thank goodness, but we got a long ways to go. So baseball can humble you quick. But we have now won 16 of the last 19 days. I will take it. Coming off a 4-0 sweep on Saturday. Nothing but good vibes right now. So let's keep that rolling. But we'll go over that bets recap from Friday and Saturday in just a little bit. We got a 12-game slate to get into. But I just want to let you guys know the trade deadline is in the next couple days, so be careful because there will be players moving. It will affect what you're betting and all that kind of stuff. So just want to say tread carefully on that one. But I'm ready to get into it, and that means it's time for the baseball fun fact. Here we go. I got two actually because I have a bonus, and it's all on the same team. This year's 2024 White Sox team is the only team in Major League history to lose 70 games before the All-Star break. I don't know if you know, but MLB has a very long history. And then a bonus on the Chicago White Sox. The only two teams in MLB history to get shut out 6 times in the first 16 games of the regular season are the 1907 Brooklyn Superbas and the 2024 White Sox. That's right. It's wild. I mean, Brooklyn had a team called Superbas from 1899 to 1910. Just want to point that out. Brooklyn has changed their name a lot. But anyways, those are the fun facts. It's time to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to recap the weekend, and then we're going to go over the good and bad hitter matchups. And then we haven't done this in a little bit, but every Monday we do aces of bases. Tell you who are the total bases leaders in the last 15 days. So we'll give you those, and then it's time to talk some orange with the good pitcher strikeout matchups. That entire pitcher report. And then, sorry, we are not going to have a big game breakdown. Had a really busy day today, and that's the one that just did not make the cut today. So we will not have that big game breakdown, but then we'll give you our best bets, our hitter parlay ideas, and wrap it all up with the recap. So hit that like button like you guys do every single flipping day, and we are extremely close. I think in the next couple weeks will be our 2 years on this YouTube channel, and it's been a fun ride with all of you, so we appreciate it, and let's keep it going. But leave a comment if you have any time, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we are on our way to 27,000 subscribers. All right, the baseball journey begins now. All right, there it is. We had a losing day on Friday, and then we came back with a vengeance on Saturday. But Friday, the worst bet of the year, Drew Thorpe under 2.5 runs. I think he gave up 582 runs in the first inning, and it was a no-sweat loss. And the crazy thing is I think Trevor Rogers broke the 37-game starting pitcher streak for the Marlins and actually got the win. So the whole thing was an absolute debacle. Butler and Pasquantino, Vinny P got a hit, I think, in his first at-bat. And Butler gets a hit every day of his life now, except for that one. He goes 0 for 5. Royals minus a half in the first 5. How 0-0, 2 outs in the 5th, and they score 6 runs. Gotta love it. Lucky win. Speaking of lucky wins, how about the Reds' money line? They got like 4 hits all game, and they win in extras. I'll take it. And then Framber Valdez turned into Nolan Ryan and got like 10 Ks. It just dominated. That was a terrible bet as well. But either way, 2 and 3, down 1.77. And then we come back Saturday because we have not lost 2 days in a row in a very long time. And we had it. We had it moving. Blake Snell, my goodness, he had 45 strikeouts and he got over the 17.5 outs. Decently easy. He did have a high pitch count early. And then Seager and Turner 1+ hit each. I think they both got that in the first at bat. And then Phillips, Mr. Phillips for the Phillies. Over 15.5 outs. How about a complete game 9-inning game? I think it was a shutout too. Unbelievable. He just pitched great. And then the over 8.5 was an added play for a half unit, and we hit that one as well, I think in the 7th inning or something like that. So 4-0 day, up 3.5 units. As you guys know, have been following all year, we dug ourselves a huge hole, and we are now down 0.17 units. A party must be thrown if there is a plus number in front of that. But we've been grinding away, so hopefully we can keep moving that way and keep that momentum going. But that is the bets recap, and now let's talk some hitter matchups. All right, we got 16 of them for you, and it starts out with Randy Arozarena for the Seattle Mariners. Still weird to say because he got traded to Seattle. 7 for 20 off Pavetta. Brandon Crawford, he's been around for a while. How about Vlad? 6 for 16 with a couple bombs versus Zach Eflin, who is also going to be pitching for a new team, so on and so on. Then as you see over there on the right, Bobby Witt, who's just an absolute hitting machine, 5 for 8 off Chris Flexen. The Candyman up there, 3 for 10, along with George Springer off of Eflin. So take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you get some winners. And now let's take a look at the bad hitter matchups. And only got 4 of them for you. Carlos Santana, the smoothest guy on the guitar, 9 for 48, 7 strikeouts versus the lefty, Jose Quintana. Buxton, not very good, but not a lot of strikeouts, but 3 for 18. Goldie, 2 for 12 with 5 Ks versus Eovaldi. And Will Brennan, 1 for 10 with 1 strikeout versus Jack Flaherty. So those are the good and bad hitter matchups. And now let's talk the aces of bases. All right, for the first time all year, we start out with 2 rookies. That's right. Tyler Fitzgerald has been dropping bombs left and right, and we all know about Lawrence Butler, except for the day I bet him, of course. How about 45 bases to lead the majors? Fitzgerald with 40 there, and even Tovar. I mean, he's been off and on, but when he's hot, he gets pretty hot this year. And then Vlad, of course, and we got some of the same guys. Santander, Toglia for the Rockies is obviously not someone who's always up here, but we all know Rooker's been dropping bombs as well. But these are the first 10 for total bases leaders in the last 15 days. You know, maybe use it to help you get a hits prop or just the total bases prop only. But either way, it kind of helps you know, who's on fire, who's really hitting for some power and all that. Now let's go to page 2. And of course, Bobby Witt, no surprise there. Jeff McNeil, since the All-Star break, I don't know what happened to him in the All-Star break, but he decided to start hitting again, and it's been really nice for the Mets. Speaking of the Mets, we got Francisco Lindor, and did anyone see O'Neal Cruz hit an absolute piss missile? I mean, that thing was launched. It was insane. Shohei hit one pretty deep too lately, but he always does. Xander Bogaerts, like we talked about, he's been on a roll, and he has 28 total bases, so on and so on. Shohei down there with his teammate Gavin Luck. So those are the top 20 total bases leaders in the last 15 days. And now let's talk some arms. All right, we got 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups for you, and it's in the same game. How about Mr. Pivetta versus my Seattle Mariners? Second highest K percentage versus righties the last 3 weeks at 27.2%. Yes, they added a Rosarena, and yes, he does strike out a decent amount as well. So it's not like it improves their strikeouts. Pivetta, 102 Ks and 84 innings this season. Now, he had 10 Ks versus the Mariners already this year, but it was the very first start of the season, so take that for what it's worth. He does have a slightly higher K rate at home, 30.3, which is impressive, compared to on the road, 28.8. His last 4 starts, 6, 8, 10, and 10. He's been absolutely rolling. And his 6 Ks, you think that's not a lot. Well, it is, because he only got 8 outs in the game, and 6 of them were Ks. He was just lit up in Colorado in Coors Field, which can get weird, obviously. And then the other side, Logan Gilbert. That's right, the man with 2 first names against the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox, 7th highest K percentage versus righties, 26%. Gilbert, 132 Ks in 139 innings. He had 8 Ks in his first start of the season versus Boston. Again, this goes back to the opening series of the year, so it may not mean that much. Obviously, everyone's different, but he does have a lower K rate on the road, though, 22.7, which is only a little above average compared to at home, 27.6%. But I'm still going to include him because he's been better lately on the road. As you can see, last 3 road starts, 9, 7, and 6 strikeouts. So I know we got Mr. Skeens on the mound. We all know he's as good as it gets when it comes to strikeouts, but he is facing one of the harder teams to strike out in the major leagues. Doesn't mean he can't get them, of course, but it is the Houston Astros. That's why he is not on here, just so you guys know. But those are the pitcher strikeout matchups, and now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, we start out with a doozy. We got Luis Gil of the Yankees going up against Zach Wheeler of the Phillies, 2 of the better pitchers this year, and Gil's looks like he's found his groove again, just like Stella. And then Tanner Bybee against Jack Flaherty. We got some great matchups today, but I will say, keep an eye on it. There is some rumors of Jack Flaherty possibly getting traded. Just want to throw that out. We don't know if it will. And then Gilbert versus Pivetta, another good pitching matchup. We talked about it. You know, Pivetta does have a 4.5 ERA, due for some positive regression, though. And so on and so on. But other than that, you know, Simeon Woods Richardson there for the Twins against the lefty veteran Quintana, who's been serviceable. It's been kind of crazy. And then you got Eovaldi versus Palante of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, those are all the numbers, the walks, the hits per 9. All the averages are on the bottom if you're new. And hopefully this can help you go get some winners. And now let's take a look at page 2. All right, there's everyone's favorite pitcher, Mr. Paul Skeens, going up against that Astros offense. That is going to be a good matchup there in Houston. Like I said, Houston doesn't strike out a lot, but Skeens' 34.2% K rate with a 4.6 walk rate is just silly. It really is. Bloss has not been good. He's just been absolutely awful. Advantage Pittsburgh. Offense, though, obviously huge advantage to Houston there. And then we got Flexen versus Marsh, who are two not good pitchers either. They are struggling. Colin Ray, who's been one of the luckier pitchers this year, as you can see with that 5 expected ERA, like we've talked about. Going up against Holmes, who has not thrown a ton. I don't think he's going to throw many innings in this one. But Jordan Montgomery of the Arizona Diamondbacks, we know he was a stud last year. He has mightily struggled this year. Lately, he's been a little better. He really got lit up against the Twins, but other than that, he's been kind of okay lately. He's trying to weather the storm. And then the rookie, I don't know if he's hitting a wall or not, but Mitch Parker has been struggling a little bit more lately. But Yariel Rodriguez not been bad lately for the Blue Jays, going up against Zach Eflin, who will be making his debut for his AL East rivals, the Baltimore Orioles. We will see how he does at home in his first start. And that's game 1, by the way. There's a doubleheader, so we got Francis versus nobody right now. You're not going to see me betting game 2 at all. So those are the last 6 matchups. Take a screenshot. Hopefully it helps you get some winners. And now let's move on to the best bets. All right, this first one takes us out to Chicago, where the White Sox host the Kansas City Royals. Royals money line minus 170, White Sox money line plus 142 with a total of 9 runs. I got a best bet. It's a game bet. Give me the Kansas City Royals team total over 4.5 runs. I got this at minus 130 on bet 365. So this is a 1-unit play for me. I like it. The White Sox pitching is just awful. It's just flat out awful. If you didn't watch their series with the Seattle Mariners, first of all, I don't blame you. And second of all, they allowed 22 runs to one of the worst offenses in the league in that 3-game series. And by the way, in the 9 games prior to that series, the Mariners scored a total of 23 runs. So it took them only 3 runs to match their 9-game total. But Chris Flexen is on the mound, and that is not good for the White Sox either. He has faced the Royals twice this season already. On April 6th, way earlier in the year, at Kansas City, 6.1 innings, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs. And then recently, just 2 starts ago, July 19th at Kansas City, 4.2 innings, 4 hits, and 7 earned runs. He has an ERA of 8.18 in those 2 starts against Kansas City. Yes, this game is different. It is in Chicago. I don't think it matters. It's still Chris Flexen. And I think him giving up 3 runs is kind of just a conservative prediction. Let's just say he goes 5 innings, 3 runs. Then we have a great chance because behind him is an awful, awful bullpen. The 3rd worst bullpen ERA since July 1st with a 6.13 ERA. They have given up 13 home runs. They have given up the 2nd most earned runs in the league. They have also given up the 2nd most walks, the 2nd most hits, everything. I mean, literally, they're either walking you or giving up a hit. That's really the only options. And by the way, I say 2nd most hits, 2nd most walks. You won't guess who number 1 is. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen. Number 1 meaning the worst, by the way. Now, Royals offense. Now, I've talked about this before. They hit better at home. I do understand that, and I think that's why we're getting a little bit of a value here, because I think this line is probably going to be at 5.5 pretty easily, juiced to the over if it's in Kansas City. But the last 30 days on the road versus righties, 13th best WRC plus, 7th best slugging, and the 4th best batting average. They've been swinging the bat a little bit better lately, and I think as long as you're an average to above average offense, you have a very good shot of scoring 5 runs off of this White Sox team when Crochet and Eric Fetty are not pitching. And that's what we have here. All we need is about 3 off Flexen, 2 off the bullpen. Let's cash 5. And by the way, they're the road team, which also means 9 guaranteed at-bats. So give me the Kansas City Royals team total over 4.5 as my first best bet. All right, this second one takes us out to Houston, Texas, where the Astros host the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates on the money line, minus 155. Astros at home on the money line, plus 130. That's right, with a total of 7.5 runs. I got to back my boy. Give me Paul Skeens over 18.5 outs recorded at plus 130 on bet 365 for 1 unit. Now, I know 7.5 Ks is the K line right now. If I had to lean, I would lean under, but that juice is a little too much for me. So let's talk about 18.5 outs. I absolutely love the value here. As you can see, and by the way, real quick, if you're not a part of Outlier, I'm telling you right now, you guys are missing out. As you can tell, it has helped me immensely. One-stop shop for all your research help. Go get a free trial at least and just try it out. The link is below in the description. But this right here, this graphic, you're going to see Paul Skeens is over this in 4 of his last 5 starts. This guy is the absolute man with a great hit rate. He is pitching a lot now in regards to pitch count. And now he is facing the Astros. Now, when you first think about it, you're going to think, well, Astros are good offense. What are you doing here? Yes, they can hit the ball, but they are a great elite out or a matchup for outs recorded. And why do you say that? Well, let's talk about it. I'm glad you asked. Houston has seen the fewest pitches per plate appearance. That is huge. It's all about pitch count when it comes to this. Obviously, you don't want to give up a lot of runs also, but they have taken 3.65 pitches per plate appearance. The next closest is 3.73. It's a pretty big difference. And a big reason, Houston Astros have the highest first swing percentage in the entire major leagues. I've told you this many times. There's nothing better than a first pitch ground out, a first pitch fly out, or even if it's a single, sometimes it's going to be a first pitch single. Or, I've seen pitchers give up 3 hits and still get out of the inning with 11 pitches because they're just swinging quickly. And if they want to get to Paul Skeens, they're probably going to want to swing early. They don't want to get deep into the count and have Skeens throw all his nasty pitches. They know they're in trouble. I can't imagine them changing anything now. Recent starting pitchers to throw at least 6 innings versus Houston. Now, I know we need 6.1 innings. I'm just letting you know. Gavin Stone threw 6 innings, 1 out short. George Kirby, 6 innings. Luis Castillo, 7 innings, went over this. Nathan Eovaldi, 7 innings, went over this. Rodri freaking Munoz, 6.2 innings, he went over this. That was insane. Skeens is obviously way better than all of these pitchers right here. Another reason I like it, Astros have a very low K rate. Like I talked about, I do lean under 7.5 Ks, but I don't want to mess with that, especially with the juice it's at right now. But less Ks means actually better for your pitch count. So you actually want that because sometimes you can have a guy who gets like 9 or 10 Ks. Well, those 9 or 10 Ks are going to eat into that pitch count a little bit. So versus a team that is good at making contact, that is good at making quick outs, I absolutely love this. Obviously, the risk here is Houston. They can hit the ball a little bit. Now, I'm going to take my chances with Skeens not getting hit around. Could he get crushed? I mean, yeah, he could. It's Houston. You're going to have a worry with every bet. But Paul Skeens on the road this year, I hope you're sitting down. This is insane. A .86 road ERA. This guy shows up when he is on the road. Give me Skeens versus a team that loves to make some quick outs. That is my second and final best bet for this video. I am definitely going to have more in the morning, but those are my 2 best bets that I found so far the night before. Might even have a good hitter parlay for tomorrow as well. But now, let's check out the hitter parlay ideas. All right, we got 4 of these for you today, and it starts out with Mr. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and this is game 1 of the doubleheader, by the way, against Zach Eflin. 6 for 16 off Eflin, as you guys already saw this year. 5 for 9 with a double and 2 bombs, so he's absolutely crushing him. Vlad also has 1+ hit in 10 of his last 11 games. In 6 games versus the Orioles this season, how about hitting .350 with 2 bombs in those 6 games? So not a bad matchup there. Second one, Bobby Witt. I know this is a duh. I get it. It's Bobby Witt every day. I understand that. But this is just to kind of give you some info in case you might want to go 2+ hits, maybe over 1.5 bases, something like that. He now has 2+ total bases in 7 of his last 9 games. He is 5 for 8 off of Chris Flexen. That is absolutely insane. And oh, by the way, he's also hitting .417 the last 7 days on a 9-game hitting streak. And then right after that, I already told you what he gets. He gets a terrible White Sox bullpen. So obviously, Bobby Witt could have a huge day. The third one, I'm going to throw this one in there. Randy Arozarena, the new Seattle Mariner, 7 for 20 off of Pavetta. And, it takes a while sometimes to get acclimated with your new team and all that. He's 3 for 8 in his first 2 games with the Mariners, so he's picking up right where he left off, hitting in that 2-hole. He also has 1+ hit in 11 of his last 15 games, dating back to all those games with the Rays as well. So that's one. And the next one, Lane Thomas, 1+ hit for the Washington Nationals. He is hitting .350 the last 7 days, and he is crushing lefties. He's hitting .329 with a .518 slugging. And he's facing lefty Jordan Montgomery, who does not miss a lot of bats, and he's very hittable. 11.5 hits per 9 innings he's given up, which is the second most on the slate today in the MLB. So I like Lane Thomas, I like Arozarena, I like Vlad, and I like Bobby Witt as my 4 hitter parlay ideas. Again, this doesn't mean it's a guaranteed lock. Go hit a hitter parlay with these 4. I know some of you guys have been having some success, but these are 4 good ones I liked the night before so far. But those are my best bets. And all that research help. And now before we wrap it up, let's check out the bets recap. All right, there it is. We start with the Royals team total over 4.5 at -130. And then Paul Skeens, the man, over 18.5 outs recorded at +130. Those are my 2 best bets, both 1-unit plays. I will definitely have more added plays in the morning. It will be in the pinned comments on X and, of course, on Discord, where it is free to join. So go join. It's in the description below. But thank you guys for all the support. If you haven't already, hit that like button, leave a quick comment, even if it's just an emoji or saying hi or whatever it is. But I appreciate the support, and I hope everyone has a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.